Welcome back everyone here at the Tokichigi Prefecture. We're here at Twin Ring Motegi for round 3 of the Hololive GT3 Japan series for the 2023 season. Now obviously we're still here after Split B have raced there. It's an amazing race there shown by John Mead for Hachama there yesterday. First Honda win in one of Honda's home tracks, and obviously it's the first non-Lexus win in Motegi. So obviously there has been a lot of stories coming in from yesterday, and there are more stories coming in for today as well. Speaking of stories, let's take a look into the track that we'll be racing here today, Twin Ring Motegi. We've also raced there yesterday, so we're going to be racing here again for Split B. 4.8 kilometers of racetrack that we're gonna handle here. Well, by we I mean the drivers. 14 corners in total, 42 laps, totaling up to 200 kilometers of racing. A target lap time of 154.57 is still on, despite the guys in Split A not being able to reach those lap times. It's a split round, so obviously we have seen Split A racing yesterday. Now we're seeing Split B race today. And this is a venue where they have seen Super GT, Super Formula, and MotoGP racing. And today, it plays host to Hololive GT3. And speaking of which, we do want to take a look into the championship order. We haven't updated on the Split B standings nor the Split A standings, but here are the standings as it stands. Domashnev leading the Split B standings by about nearly 100 points to Jeff Clark. The Akirose are having the advantage over the Nakari Ayame ride. And looking at the third place driver, it's Daniel Barguer for Suisei. His predecessor Charles Thompson did win in the Formula Hololive race, and he did score pole in the Suisei car. So this car still has a lot of potential. Barguer just needs to unlock it. And then we have Kizahara Leo for Murasaki Shion and Johan Sinful for Natsura Matsuri. Johan Sinful coming off of a second place finish last round at Tsukuba. He's looking to deliver yet another good result. Richie Rod and Sean Golisle sitting in 6 and 7, one of the best Nissans in the field. The Split A Nissans have been performing, but in Split B they are trying to limit the damage here. Of course, we had the 8th place Okami Mio car. We do want to mention that it's no longer Andrew Rakembayev who's driving the car. It's now Zeke Wimberly driving the car. And then 9th and 10th, Alderson Tanarao and Lorenzo Ricci, representing Nekomato Okayu and Hoshomori respectively. In the number 57 car, we do want to mention that Mika Margish have now moved to the Amane Kanata car after Yukikaze Kai have vacated the Amane Kanata Nissan. Sean Pauli in 12th for Inugami Korone. Miguel Castro's part-time ride comes to an end after two rounds in Hololive GT3. He is now replaced by Danilo Goyena in the Osada Pecora Honda. Kento Kai, Alex Grant making a 14th and 15th. Shishilami 14th and 15th for Kento Kai and Alex Grant. Daniel Bolatev in 16th place for Tokoyami Toa. And last place, Shakif Reza returns to the Momosuzu Nene car after Mika Marguch occupied it the race before. So with that out of the way, we're gonna instantly get into the nitty-gritty bits of the qualifying session. Hopefully everyone here is able to tune into the stream. I am Muhammad Shazin Reza in the commentary booth, and while I'll be waiting for one of the other guys in the commentary booth to join in, let's just get this qualifying session underway. One of the few headline stories that we want to talk about here is Shakif Reza. He is returning to the Momosuzu Nene Nissan. Obviously, they still have these leftover stickers there from, well, like round 6 at Tsukuba when they had the Twinkle for You sticker promoting the 5th Gen Live. Obviously, some of them are not really that bothered to actually remove the sticker. Some of them actually just wanted to leave it for one more round before finally taking action. So many stories that we want to talk about here. I mean, we have this like very long qualifying session ahead of us, and here's Richie Rod. Just wanted to get his leg stretched before he starts his own flying lap. Now, if you want to talk about Hololive related stuff, let's talk about Fubuki for a while. Richie Rod, representing Fubuki, one of the few kombus in this racing series. Now, we have seen reports that Fubuki have seen a visual update earlier last month. Was that this month? But whatever the case is, she has a visual update for her live 2D, and that is in reflection to Nagishiro Mito's new art style, which is amazing to see. Anyways, let's go about for a hot lap here at Motegi. Let's take a look on where Richie Rod goes. Let's go on board the number 22 Nissan. Now, I do want to mention to you, like yesterday, we do want to focus on the exit of the final corner, because you have this long main straight for you to deal with. You have to like turn one, which is a double apex right-hander. So you want to carry a good amount of speed possible. You're in the Nissan. You want to hold on to third gear. You want to brake at a 70-meter marker, coming into turns 2 and 3. Another double apex right-hander, left-hander, but this time it's 2 corners instead of 1. Then you have another long back straight. Here's one of the first sectors, 28.793 into the heavy braking zone. You need to brake between 150-meter boards into turn 4. Exiting the oval portion of the track, you have just like turn 5, a long right-hander. And then into the S section, turn 6, 7, and 8. Sorry, the right-hander before the S is 5 and 6. The S is 7 and 8. So whatever the case, you get a good exit off of the S so that you can have in it, so you can approach yourself to the hairpin. Oh, not exactly the hairpin, that's the corner after that. This is turn 9. Exiting the turn 9, you just need to really carry as much speed as possible. 50-meter braking zone into the hairpin. You just wanted to get a very good exit there off of the hairpin, get as much acceleration as possible so they can get the maximum top speed at the exit of the main straight. Coming into the braking area at turn 11, 100-meter board, 129 in 550, so pretty decent lap there from Rod. And then coming back into the infield section of the track, turns 12. Final chicane 13 and 14. You have your first lap set by Goliath and Kizuhara Leo. Looks like Rodney is being held up by Shaq and Breza just by a slight margin. Dude, that's not gonna help him. And that's a lap here at Motegi. So just wanted to take it easy on the throat. Just wanted to take it easy on the commentary because not many people are here. Now I'm still the sole guy in the commentary booth, and I wanted to like save the throat. Ketokai, the first Lexus driver to set a lap here at Motegi, and he only has that's the 8th fastest lap time. Looking to the top guys on the spot, Sean Goliath's absolutely showing up. So very good stuff there from the number 9 Minato Aqua Nissan. More guys ascending their lap times. Zeke Wimberly, of course, in his Okami Mio debut in Hololive GT3, he has seen appearances in the number 54 Hakoi Korea Honda that one time, but it hadn't really gone too much for this young man. Wimberly has replaced Zeke Wimberly, we apologize for the background audio. Apparently it's unavoidable even in a different location. So anyway, Zeke Wimberly having to replace Andrew Rakhimbayev. Doing very well here in this qualifying session, currently mid-table. Hopefully he gets a better run and gets inside the top 5. Again, back at Motegi here. Again, we have to deal with another sort of background audio. Again, it's apparently unavoidable. So we have more Lexus drivers setting their lap times here. We have another Lexus car who have yet to set a lap, and that would be, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff Clark, who is currently stationary inside the car. Hasn't really gone outside. Not sure why. Oh, looks like there has been some contact there between Barguer and another car. That could be Jeff Clark, but I haven't seen much front-end damage for Clark, but there is rear damage for Barguer there, who currently sits 6th inside that Suisei Nissan. Well, Wimberly has seen an improvement on his lap time here, 1:53, but he's still 1.6 seconds off of the pole sitter. Alex Grant, 12th fastest driver currently in 12th place, obviously. Margish in her Hololive GT3 debut isn't doing much in the Canada car. Obviously, the Nissans are expected to not perform as well as it should in Motegi. And with its woeful acceleration off the line, it's going to be very unlikely that we'll see a Nissan in the race lead anytime soon, unless a Nissan could really handle the tires, the wheel spin as well as it should. Marcus is really not on a run here. You can see here first sector to only 28 seconds. So just wanted to give you a bit of a confirmation that Jeff Clark is still stationary inside the pits. Just wanted to report on the situation here at the moment. Margish is still, Clark is still stationary inside the pits. And yes, we have confirmation that it is Jeff Clark that has seen contact with Barguer somewhere in the track. And that gave Clark a good amount of damage. That means he will not take further part in this qualifying session, which is a bit of a shame. And we have also had confirmation that Rod is going back out to the track to have another crack at this qualifying session. He's gonna be at least the second best Nissan. Put that Nissan car on that front row alongside Lyle, making it a Nissan front row lockout so that the drivers at the back, the Lexus and Honda, wouldn't be able to accelerate the Nissans away. Looking into the remaining drivers on the standings, we have championship leader Vladislav Domashnev for Akirose. He's already exiting the final corner here, and he's looking to see a good amount of improvements here. He has a lap time to beat Shangalile. Not close enough there, but it is enough to beat Barguer, another one of his championship contenders here. Now, we do want to mention that the Suisei Nissan is currently in the 4th position. Just wanted to have like a short break here. Back at Motegi, and right now we're looking at the 3rd place driver, Johan Siffel, continuing on his amazing performances. Remember, he did win the previous race at Tsukuba, so he has a good amount of momentum carrying off for him into this race. So right now he wants to continue where the other drivers have left out, with a Lexus car, a pretty fast Lexus car under his shoulder. He's looking to perform in the grand scheme of things. Of course, Johan Sinful having to replace Bon Air mid-season after he had to unexpectedly leave the series. A shame that he has to lead like this, but whatever the case is, anyways, Margish going up to 13th place, bumps down Bolatev, Goyena, and Ricci. Doing a bit well there to get the Nissan up front. Well, not exactly up front the field, but up front 3 other cars who have set lap times. Anyway, Sinful not looking to find some improvement. He is as the third place car in qualifying is about to find some battles with the first place car in qualifying here. Sinful is in the middle of a lap. Sean Goliath is currently on his out lap, so right now Goliath isn't really wanting to challenge Sinful as much, although Sinful's lap time have already been compromised a lot. Still, we do want to mention to you all that Jeff Clark currently still inside the pit lane, not being able to set a lap time. Volatev coming into the pits. Here's the still stationary Ayame car, and right now there's still a good amount of damage that needs to be repaired. Looking at Sinful here, this lap time is basically void because of Goliath. But then you want to look back here that Sinful is still right now back ahead of Goliath, so he has been overtaken somewhere. It was likely at the exit of turn 4. So an interesting turn of events there from these two drivers, the Matsuri and Aqua drivers. Let's take a look back on Sinful and Goliath's lap times compared after they crossed the line. Richie's looking to find some fast pace there in that marine car, but let's see if it accrues. Sinful's gonna restart the lap here. Let's see if he can be in a position of menace. But Goliath isn't really that far behind Sinful actually, and remember, because Goliath is behind Sinful, who is only like a second ahead, he is able to take advantage of the slipstream, the draft, basically where Sinful punches the air and that leaves an opening, and that opening actually has less drag, and because that opening has less drag, Goliath may just be able to have more speed on the straight. I can see here he actually improves by 0.004 of a second there in that first sector, so really stretching his legs here. Meanwhile, compare that to Sinful, who is actually faster than Goliath on that first sector, so a lot to play for here. Meanwhile, we're looking at Sinful, who is actually still faster than Goliath on the second sector. There's still 2 sectors to go for this track, apparently, because we're using MotoGP sectors. Coming into the exit of turn 9, where will Sinful go? Coming into the hairpin. Oh, really deep into the corner there, and pretty calm, composed into the apex of that corner, really taking a neutral approach. No late apex, no early apex. Third sector, it's going to be still faster than Goliath by quite a margin here. He is looking to really improve on his lap time here, and is actually close to beating Goliath's lap time. But as I say that, Sinful actually aborts his lap and comes into the pits. So that leaves only Kizuhara Leo, Sean Goliath to really sort it out. Not sure about Leo's chances because he is faster in nearly all parts of the racetrack, but let's see if he can steal pole position. The answer is no. Kizuhara Leo isn't able to finish that lap time. That's actually the last driver who have finished this qualifying session. With that settled, let's take a look into the timetable for the qualifying session, see who has the fastest lap times. The starting lineup here for the Motegi 400 Split B race. Sean Goliath from Minato Aqua, about 152.269. Still haven't beat. Still really didn't beat our target lap times, but doesn't matter. Sean Goliath is in the Minato Aqua Nissan, and he sets his first pole position of his Hololive GT3 career. Kizuhara Leo for Murasaki Shio, making it an Akushio front row lockout. But it will be likely that Leo is going to steal the basically the race lead, given the woeful acceleration for the Nissans. Johan Sinful for Natsui Ramatsuri it makes it a 789 or 987.123. So that's another neat thing to know. Alson Tanara for Nakamata Okaya again continues his good run in Hololive GT3. Vlasa Domashnev for Akirose is starting on the front end of row 3, and Richie Rods for Shiraka Fubuki is lining up alongside his fellow Gen 1 teammate. Daniel Barguer for Hoshimachi Suisei will start 7th in the Suisei car, while Sean Pauly starts 8th in the Coronet Honda. Zeke Wembley in his first start for Okawimiya starts 9th, and Alex Red in 10th place for Yukihana Lamy. Shaka Reza returns in Hololive GT3 with an 11th place grid spot in his start for Moses Nene, and Keto Kai in 12th place for Shishiro Botan. Mika Markush in her Hololive GT3 debut for Amon and Kanata starts 13th alongside her fellow Gen 4 compatriot Daniel Balatev in the Tokoyami Towa Honda. Another Honda currently in the field is Danilo Goyena in the Osada Pecora Honda in his Hololive GT3 debut. Lorenzo Ricci in 16th place for Hosha Marine, just outside the points, and Jeff Clark not being able to set a lap time due to I believe a crash with Daniel Barguer is starting last place. Let's see where Jeff Clark will end up, given the guys who are starting on the back after they haven't set a time in qualifying. So anyways, let's get this race start properly underway here. We have a lot of promising young talent at the start of this race. You can see here Sean Galile on pole position with Kizuhara Leo alongside him. Let's see how it goes for all of these drivers. The Motegi 400 Split B race is about to get underway. 5 red lights are on. And predictably, the Nissans have a very, very poor start here, but I think he just might be able to hold up. I take that back, because you can see here Kizuhara Leo again takes the race lead, unsurprisingly, and now Sinful takes advantage of the inside line, steals second place again from Sean Galai, who have now dropped down to 3rd place. Apologies here because some drivers are not being properly recorded here, Kizuhara Leo being one of them. Kizuhara Leo, of course, leads this race over Johan Sinful. And then we have Sean Galal in 3rd place, Domashnev 4th. Richie Rod is currently in 6th place here with Antana Rao 5th. Paulie 7th, and you can see here Barker and Greg going side by side. 8th and 9th, and then we have Kento Kai in 10th place. Sorry, we forgot to mention there's also Zeke Wimberley as well, but Zeke Wimberley has been overtaken by what looks to be Kento Kai, and you can see here Grant finally gets his 10th place, but it doesn't look to be 10th place here, because right now we are looking at Sinful and Kizuhara Leo, who have yet to be recorded on the timing charts. Again, we apologize for that. We really can't avoid that one. And with some side-by-side battles between Clark and Margus here, you can see here Clark having a very good start here. He started 17th and is now inside the points. See a few drivers being shuffled off into each other, bunching up with each other at the exit of the hairpin here. That kind of opened up the opportunity for Margus. Wimberley versus Ricci, one of the 2 Hunters cars in the field, with Wimberley trying fancy his chances against Kai. This should be for 10th place. Kai now drops down to 11th. Starting lap 42, now we finally have Leo and Sinful finally being recorded into the timing charts here. We have Kizuhara Leo leading the way with Sinful in 2nd. Let's see if Leo can score his 2nd win for Murasaki Shion. Sinful's looking for his 1st win for Matsuri, but right now he's looking to be under pressure from Goliath in 3rd place. It's currently an Akushio 1-3 at the moment. Sinful is not actually pulling the gaps to Kizuhara Leo. Is actually dropping back and is now probably under pressure from Goliath if he's not careful. Domashnev is also still in a very good position here. As you can see here, there's also some kind of damage there on Rod's rear end. So I think there's contact between him and another driver. Not sure who, because I'm trying to look into the other drivers, and it's likely that Lorenzo Ricci got caught up in that melee. Let's take a look into the progress chart and see who is seeing a lot of gains. And it turns out that Lorenzo Ricci actually has a lot of gains here. Gains up on a good amount of Nissans there. Some guys having pretty decent starts, some are having poor starts. Richie having a very good start there in that Marine Lexus, currently up 4 positions. Now it's worth noting that Hoshimaru herself favors the Origin Idol uniforms over the Bright uniforms, although she's available to use both. But she does prefer the Origin uniforms. But right now, Richie is currently in 12th place, still inside the points there. But Chris is still pretty young. There's still a long way to go because Hololive has the fastest lap of the race, 152.392. We're gonna take a short break on lap 10. Just wanted to give you all a heads up on the current situation here at the moment. Right now we have Johan Sinful still not closing into Leo, who is currently on a roll on that Xi'an Honda. Haven't seen a Honda this dominant since I can't remember, but whatever the case is, the Hondas are absolutely showing up this season, with the Nissans really not being part of the equation at this moment. We're looking at the gaps here that Barguer is actually getting very, very close there to Alex Grant, who's currently in 8th place. Wimberley is also not far behind. He's also looking for some positions. We have 3 Nissans inside the top 6, 4 Nissans inside the top 10. Right now we're on lap 3, and right now the battles are getting pretty calm at the moment. Right now there's really not much pressure between these drivers. You can see here Grant is still pretty slow at the moment. Holly is actually catching up to the front pack. You can see here he's currently 7th. Only 2.6 seconds behind Rod. Still, we just wanted to know who has seen a lot of front end damage. And now we have Kizara Leo still saying that the fastest lap of the race so far, faster than his previous fastest lap time by 0.3 of a second. Tannerau currently in 5th place, trying to catch Domashnev, and now Goliath is also dropping back against Sinful, who is dropping back against Leo, which is not actually a good look for these 2 drivers. They want to like challenge Leo for the overall win. Koyena hasn't had his best Hololive GT3 debuts at the moment here. As you can see here, there is actually a train forming between Kento Kai and Danilo Goyena. You can see here Kai is absolutely struggling with pace. Richie's trying his best to pass Kento Kai, but right now, remember we do want to mention to you that Motegi is a medium to high speed corner oriented racetrack, and there's a lot of dirty air, and with a lot of dirty air there is a lot of basically disturbances at the back of the car, and that causes the driver following the car in front to lose a lot of speed, and that in turn affects the ability to get close and affects the ability for them to really make moves. As you can see here, Richie is trying desperately to get close, and right now he is a bit under pressure against Shakib Reza. Now if Shakib Reza can really have a very good exit there off of the hairpin, let's see if he can really close into Richie. And right now the gaps are closing in, and Leo still sets the fastest lap of this race, really being unstoppable at the moment because of Leo. Barguer is currently in 9th place, trying to catch up to Alex Grant, who is currently in 8th. Of course, Grant, your defensive skills are really being put to the test. Aren't really being put to the test much here at Motegi due to the nature of this racetrack, but of course, if you want to go for the conservative approach, this is a very good place to do so, because Motegi is, like we've mentioned, a track that is quite difficult to overtake. And right now, in this Motegi 400 Split B race, Leo is still showing up here. And for the drivers who are close to the other drivers in front, they are having some hard times trying to catch up to the drivers in front. And right now, Domashnev is no exception. Rod in 6th place, trying to eke out an advantage to Antanarao in 5th place, in car number 5, no less. Richie is currently 12th place, 3/10 behind Keto Kai, who is all still struggling for pace. You see here Akirose trying to go the wide route, trying to find the opening here to Richie, but it's just not there. He's gonna try again at the hairpin to see if he can get close. Leo has now dropped back to Sinful and Goliath. Too many fast laps set by Leo, and that actually compromises his tires for his first stint. Simple currently in 2nd place there, kind of slowly catching up there to Leo, but not forcing it. Goliath holding on to 3rd place right now. The gaps between the top 3 have opened up. Meanwhile, for Domashnev, he is getting close there to Goliath, and Tanara and Ron battle on their own. Shirogami Fubuki is technically also part of Hololive Gamers, but for consistency reasons, we wanted to like place Fubuki under Gen 1 to make things easier. So yeah, Shirogami Fubuki, Gen 1 and Gamers member. Well, for this contest, we just wanted to label her as a Gen 1 member. Goyena, though, still getting very close at the Marcus, Clark, Balatev, Akirose, Richie, and Kai. Just shows you how difficult it is to overtake a Motegi. You really need some good strategy for you to make some moves. And as for our on-track overtake, it's going to be pretty difficult here if you are in the same strategy. Just pure racing. Balatev exiting turn 9 here, trying to find a spot against Akirose, and you can see here there's another battle here at the moment. You can see here, but scratch that, it's not actually a battle. Richie Rod might have headed it way too early in this race. It might have made the same mistake as some of the other drivers here. You can see here Rod coming into the pits. That's not going to look good for him. He might have a short time in the pits, but of course that's not going to do him any favor. We've seen that with Juan Suharto and Hofumi, and that didn't pay dividends for them. But meanwhile, looking into the other drivers here, Antanarao currently in 5th place, jumps up, doesn't really jump up a position here because Ron and Barguer here are actually behind. Well, may have exited in 9th, 10th, maybe 12th, but in all due honesty, he is actually kind of throwing a spanner in the works for the battle for the at the back here. You can see here Clark is now in a compromising position here, and Clark tries to find a way past Rod, who is actually having a slower car due to his tires not being warmed up enough. You can see here Clark having to lift off just a bit here. Balatev might just find an opportunity to get past, but remember, Balatev is a bit cautious on his race, and that's not going to do him any favors against Clark. But he is now peeling side by side with Rod here. Balatev gets back up to 13th place. Barguer behind in this race by quite a margin. I fear that he has to pit again. If so, then It's a shame. But meanwhile, Sinful is still pulling away just a bit to Leo. The race for the race lead is still not done yet. Lap 8 of this race, we're going to go on break on lap 10, 2 laps before the break. So looking into the current situation at the moment, we haven't seen any new drivers pitting. Domashnev is getting very dangerously close to Goliath, but Domashnev having that straight line deficit to the Nissan, he might not be able to find an opportunity. His best chance is to really follow that Nissan through the high-speed corners, and after that try to find an opening down the inside. Oh, you can see here more battles here between Clark and Ricci here at the moment, because you can see here Kento Kai have really shuffled at the back as well as Ricci, and now Clark actually makes a double overtake here, and now you can see here that Rod is causing a lot of trouble for the drivers at the back. You can see here Goyena going side by side with Marcus, and let's see if he can steal a position away. Goyena's down the inside, and he might just be able to steal a position away from Rod. Remember, Rod and Barguer pitted very early into this race, and that might not be beneficial to some of the Nissan drivers here. And you can see here Goliath coming into the pits as well. He might be at risk of having to pit twice again. And with that also, and Alderson Tanarao also coming into the pits. Hi, konnichiwa. It looks like there are some Japanese viewers into the stream. ごめんね。私の日本語が上手じゃありませんじゃないので、英語で配信します。一生懸命で日本語配信して、もし場合があればな。Anyways, back to English, because we have seen some Japanese viewers here into the stream. Shaki Freza for Momosuzu coming into the pits. Right now, it might not be too late, because right now it is getting feisty there in this battle here. We're going to go for a short break here after lap 10, just to basically ease the throat a bit and to get some further preparations here. So anyways, here looking into Kizuhara Leo into this main straight here, representing Murasaki Shion in this number 8 Honda. Still consolidating this lead here. We're gonna report to you all if there will be any more drivers heading into the pit lane. Kizuhara Leo exiting turns 13 and 14 with a 2.3 second gap. He leads over Johan Sinful, Vladislav Domashnev, Sean Pauly, Alex Grant, Zeke Wimberly, Sean Goliath, Alderson Tanarao, Jeff Clark, and Kento Kai inside the top 10. We're about to start lap 11 here, and you can see here Mika Marcus have just come into the pits here, and you can see here Marcus is about to be under pressure from Shakib Reza, the full-time Nenechi driver, against the newly promoted Kanata driver. As you can see here, both Nissans going side by side, coming into the back straight, and right now, who is going to be out on top? Is it going to be the Kanata car or the Nene car? Into turns 2 and 3. You can see here Marcus really struggling with pace there with cold tires. Marcus shovels back. Shaka Reza's now back up to 16th. Back onto the racing scene at the moment. Kizar Leo still leads. Johan Sinful in 2nd place. Domashnev in 3rd. I do want to mention that Goliath and Antanara, as well as Marcus, pitted later than the other Nissan, so they might be free of having to deal with a second unnecessary pit stop. Anyways, Wimberley currently in 6th place for Wakami Mio there. Remember, he did replace Andrew Rakhimbayev in the middle of the season after Rakhimbayev said that he's no longer going to continue racing in the ARO. And you can see here more battles here between Clark and Antanarao here. Clark have made the pass for 8th place against the Okayu Nissan driven by Antanarao. You can see here Wimberley looking for an opportunity to get past Grant, but right now the chances aren't there. Coming into the left-right S, which is turn 7 and 8. You can see here Grant is definitely very slow off the line. You can see how much of a gap Grant has over Sean Pauli here. 38 seconds. So right now there's a lot of disparity between these drivers here. Grant is basically forming a trolley train behind the other drivers. You can see here Goliath and Clark side by side. You can see here Clark trying to make a move against Goliath. Goliath has the straight line advantage and might have the inside advantage once again. Let's see the onboard of the Nissan here. But I think his exit has been slightly compromised here. He might as well try to defend his 7th place here. Shuffles Clark off wide, but can he stay on the inside? The answer is no. Clark steals 7th place from Goliath. Remember, you just wanted to remind everyone that Goliath have already pitted, and he really wants that clean air. He wants to get as much lap time as possible, and right now with Alex Grant in front of him, as well as 2 other drivers, that's not going to do him any favors. And we have confirmation that Sinful have now properly caught himself back up into Kizaru Leo. Kizaru Leo is now having to deal with lap cars, but he is being told he has to pit soon. So right now that may be irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, because right now, looking into the gaps between Leo and the rest of the field here, he might just be able to stay in this net race lead if things stand. But right now, Sinful is looking for every opportunity possible to try to overtake Leo. But right now, it's not looking good for Leo. But right now, Leo's going to try and move down the inside. Sinful might just be able to do such a thing as well. The answer is no. He actually manages to use Mika Marcus as a pick for Leo to actually build a gap over Sinful. As you can see, the gaps are slowly starting to open up here. But then again, Leo still has Shakib Reza to deal with. Clark's now pulling away against Wimberley and Grant. We have 4 Hondas inside the top 6 in what is Honda's home track of Motegi, one of 2 tracks owned by Honda. The other is Suzuka, but Suzuka has been used by the SRO for the GT World Challenge Asia race there. back onto the action on the racetrack here. We have Sinful now losing a lot of touch here. As you can see here again, Rod and Barguer, we have feared that this will come for them. They bid it way too early. They tried to tempt fate, but it didn't accrue to them. They're now gonna have to pay the price. For Daniel Barguer and Richie Rod, that just assures them that they will not be taking any further part in the split championship because they're gonna be mathematically knocked out. It's a shame that they had to come this way due to poor strategy call, but it happens in racing. And you can see here Alex Grant's lap time was a 1:58.869, with everyone else hitting 6:56s, 52s, 54s, and 55s, which is not looking good. And now Kizuhara Leo has been called into the pit. Johan Sinful is now temporarily inside the race lead. He has now cleared Margush. He just needs to clear Shakib Reza for him to build up a gap and to try to attack Leo. Leo still stationary inside the pit. Sinful is on the move against Shakib Reza. He's gonna try to make a move down the inside. Sinful is gonna go for the attack, and now Sinful will have some breathing space to get some fast outlaps as possible. Kizaru Leo exits in 4th place here. The delta is only about around 30 plus seconds, but I don't know if it will be enough for Sinful for him to basically stay ahead of Leo at the end of this pit stops. Lap 14 of this race, and right now just wanted to tell someone to probably join in. Anyways, Sinful currently pulling away against Domashnev here. Domashnev is still stuck behind the lap cars of Margush and Shakib Reza, currently outside the points. Rod and Barguer, despite them having to make their second pit stop, they're still ahead of Shakib Reza and Margush, which really just shows the gap of the pace gap that some of these drivers have. Loving the crowd turnout here at Motegi. Sinful is now coming into the pits to respond to Leo's pit stop calls. And right now, Kizaru Leo is just exiting the hairpin here, exiting turn 10. But will it be enough for Sinful to regain the race lead and try to maintain a Lexus car winning this Motegi race in Hololive GT3? Leo is currently coming into the final 2 corners here, the final chicane. Sinful is still not out. Sinful is still not out. And right now, Kizaru Leo is going to be able to retake the race lead. Sinful is now just able to get his car up, but it's now too late. Leo is now your net race leader. Sinful will have to settle for second. Now has to settle for second there, Leo. Sean Goliath there, also having to pit early. Now drops down to 8th place. Is now losing a lot of time against Grant Clark and Wimberley, and especially Alex Grant here. Alex Grant really not making life easy for the drivers in front. You can see here, easily one of the slowest cars in the race, and he's really forming a trolley train here. You can see that the gaps are really opening up here between Sinful and Grant. Just crazy stuff here that happens in Hololive GT3. It just happens from time to time. Clark's currently in 6th place here, trying to find a way past Grant, but right now it's just not working. Grant has still yet to pit. Clark is doing an amazing job here to get up into this position after starting last. Gains 11th position if I'm not mistaken, so that's one thing to be proud of. But of course he has to pit again, so his position after the pit stops will be the one that will decide if he has a very good race given his circumstances or not. Domashnev is currently your gross leader of this race here. Of course, he has yet to pit and is now under pressure Not exactly under pressure, but he's still stuck behind the lap cars of Margish and Shakib Reza, who's both of them are currently outside the points. I was supposed to say konbanwa instead of konnichiwa, but then again, it's 3 p.m. in Japan, and sunset is because it's the summer season, and sunsets are kind of late in Japan, from what I can tell. Anyways, you can see here Domashnev now really trying to get a good exit there off turn 3. Let's see if he can make a move into turn 4. Not close enough to Domashnev. And now looking into some of the other battles here, we can see here Jeff Clark in 6th place. Now finally coming into the place to really break that deadlock between himself and Alex Grant. And we got more drivers coming into the place. Lorenzo Ricci as well. Anyways, back on to the racing action right now. Kizuhara Leo currently leading this race on in terms of net positions here, with Sinful currently 2nd place. There 7.6 seconds is the gap. We're going to be updating to you all about the updated lap times between Leo and Sinful, and see if see who gets the better of each other. Oh, you can see here Ricci now drops down to 14th place here. He gets his car repaired, so now with the net position settled between Ricci and some of the other drivers here, he is currently still in a position of gain because he's currently inside the points. And just a note there, Leo is actually catching out to Pauly by quite the margin here. You can see Sinful is still maintaining a gap between himself and Leo, and you can see here the gaps are pretty much neutral between the two, albeit Sinful being slightly slower. Leo is having an amazing season up to this point. A win at Fuji to finally bring that first win for Murasaki Shion. And Sinful currently having a 2nd place finish at Tsukuba. Amazing showing for both of these drivers here. It's still status quo between Grant, Wimberley, Golile, and Tanarao, Kai. Molata is still a bit far behind there, but he might be able to catch up soon if things go his way. Goyena is also still inside the points. Car number 10 and car number 11 in 10th and 11th respectively. What a coincidence. Marcus trying to get close to Shakib Reza here. Marcus has the faster car, but that also meant that Domashnev is under pressure because he needs to clear both of these Nissans at that same time for him to have a chance of maintaining what should be 3rd, 4th place. Just wanted to give you all an update. We still have a few drivers who have yet to make a pit stop. Kai, Olatev, Goyena, Grant, Wimberley, Domashnev, and Pauly. Remember, these guys have yet to pit, and these two drivers have yet to drop a few positions after their pit stops. Marcus is currently on the verge of being lapped here by Domashnev, but right now, due to the nature of Motegi, it's very difficult to overtake, so that's one thing we have to pay attention to. Kizuhara Leo, of course, still in 3rd place. And now we have Kizuhara Leo finally catching up to Sean Pauly here. Remember, these guys are not on the same strategy. Pauly doesn't have any reason to block Leo's advancement for others' benefit. So will Paulie play the team game here? That's another one question that we may want to ask. Leo currently in third place here with Sean Paulie hot on the heels. Kai's currently in ninth place here, trying to find a way past Antanarao. They're all wanting to get past Grant here, still having a very slow lap time, 1:57.316. That's backmarker pace, which is a bit of a shame. And now Leo really getting to the back of Sean Paulie here, but of course Paulie is not going to play the team game here as much as Leo would have wanted. So right now Leo is currently still stuck behind Paulie, wanting to find an opportunity, but there's none. Alex Grant still having that Shirley train behind him, doing very well there to maintain 5th place, despite having a car that isn't really up to the task. Still no drivers coming into the pits there. They think it's way too early or really wanted to go for that overcut strategy, because remember, it's a bit difficult to overtake. But the undercut strategy might just be better if you have clean air, but they're not sure about the clean air situation here at Motegi. Kento Kai trying to get into the end of things, but still trying to find a chance there. Now, just a bit of a reminder: if anyone is watching the stream, please feel free to drop your comments in the chat room. I'll try to respond as much as possible here in regards to anything that I could find. You can see Domashnev really losing touch to Sean Paulie and Leo there. That Domashnev still being stuck behind the lap cars is not going to do himself any favors here. Sean Paulie's not caught up to the last of Domashnev's battle, but this is only for the gross race lead. The net race lead is still on Kizuhara Leo, because these two drivers have yet to pit. You can see here Domashnev is really being held up by the pack, by Shakib Reza and Mika Margus here. Remember, as in the words of Zeke Wimberly himself, they're causing a lot of chaos on the racetrack. And now Johan Sinful is also going to be back into this battle here, because the gap was 7.5 seconds between Sinful and Leo. It's now dropped down to 3.6 seconds, with Leo still being unable to overtake Sean Paulie. And now Sean Paulie himself is going to be at the back of Domashnev pretty soon, because Domashnev isn't able to clear the two lap cars, the Nissans, who refuse to go a lap down. Some massive intriguing battles they're forming here in the mid stages of this race here. Once we get past lap 21 and lap 22, we are officially halfway into this race. Breaking into the 100-meter board here to get the car properly stopped in time. And now the battle for the top 4 is getting rife here. Forget about Grant being the Trilly train here. You can see here Sean Paulie trying to go for an early apex, trying to block Kizuhara Leo's exit so that Paulie can have that breathing space But that's mostly because he was trying to find an opportunity to get past Domashnev. The battle for the race lead getting very angsty and very intense here. You can see here Domashnev is still not trying his luck to get past the lap cars. Paulie trying to find a way past Domashnev and at the same time having to defend against Leo. Leo have already pitted and has the fresh tires. Could this be the race that slips away from Leo? Right now, Paulie still trying to find a way past, but right now it's not opening up. Once we get into lap 22, we're gonna take another short break here. We're gonna get back into this racing action here once we start lap 24. Just wanted to remind everyone of the current situation here at the moment. Here you can see here Leo. Oh, you can see here finally Domashnev being able to clear Margus. And now Domashnev's eyes are set on Shakif Reza. And Domashnev is now able to use Margus as a pick for Domashnev to gain some lap time. Some amazing racing action here at Motegi's this Motegi track. Domashnev now leads with a good buffer against Sean Polyev now coming into the pits. Leo 3rd, Sinful 4th, Grant 5th, Wimberley 6th, Galal 7th, and Tanarao 8th, Kentokai 9th, and Balatev rounds out the top 10 as we've officially passed the halfway portion in this race. We're back here at Twin Ring Motegi. We have to come back a lap early because we have been seeing some pit lane activity here, especially for Sean Paulie and Daniel Balatev. And you can see here they have gained a few positions here. And now we can see here finally Domashnev trying to find a way past Shakif Reza. See if we can pressure him to move off wide. Right now he's unable to do so, not being unable to intimidate Shakif Reza. Not yet, at least, but he has a very good exit here. He might just be able to dive bomb down the inside. Gets close, a bit too close for comfort here for Domashnev. You can see here Sinful trying to find a way past Leo here. Leo has the inside line. Sinful's gonna try his luck around the outside. The battle between Sinful and Leo is the net battle for the race lead, and you can see here Sinful is going to try to find his luck. He's gonna try his luck, find a way past Leo, and right now, will it be enough for Sinful to make a move. You can see here Sinful trying to go around the outside of turn 9, which is not going to work. Hairpin, turn 10. He might be able to pull just a few bits to Leo here, and you can see here the gaps not really closing between these two. And remember, the Honda's having better straight line speed over the Lexus cars. Sinful about to get into the final few corners. Let's see if he can gain a lot of lap time here to steal maybe good amount of positions here. And as you can see here, Leo having a poor exit off of the final corner. Will Sinful take advantage of this opportunity? Will he make a dive ball down the inside? Speaking of dive ball, Domashnev finally puts Shakib Reza a lap down. Sinful is not close enough to Leo. He might just unable to dive bomb Leo at this point of this race. But as you can see here, Kizara Leo now finally peeling into the inside, trying to find a way past Margus. Let's see if Sinful can also take advantage of this opportunity. No! Leo just used Margus as a pick for him to pull away against Sinful right now. Sean Pauli is still 28 seconds behind the leading pack. Let's see if he can pull in some very fast lap times here now that he has a lot of clean air in front of him. 155.182 was his last lap time, and now looking at Leo and Sinful's lap time of 158. He's gaining him by 3 seconds a lap. Very crazy advancements there for the Brit, but let's see if this will pay off. Sinful just needs to clear Margus. That's all he needs to do. Domashnev now finally being able to clear. Shakib Reza is now going to be able to finally pull away from some of the drivers in the pack. He might just try his luck to pull away from Sean Pauli, which is his closest opponent. Grant is still yet to pit. Domashnev is also yet to pit and is chosen not to pit this lap. Now you can see how much of a lap time Domashnev is gaining. It's not lost on Domashnev to win this race for Lexus after all. And now Leo getting very close to Shakib Reza, but he's not tempting fate, not tempting his chances. Sinful still not being able to find some space. But look at Gizara Leo finding a way on the outside line. Shakib Reza trying to find a way to still stay on the lead lap, but it's just not working. This would mean that Leo is going to be able to pull away from Sinful, who is still unable to overtake Margus and Shakib Reza. And you can see the gap slowly opening up here, as Sinful is still stuck behind the lap car of Sinful and Shakib Reza. Richie Rod just gets up a position because Neil Goyena has now come into the pits finally. The next battles here might just be between Goyena and Bolatev, just maybe. But we'll have to pay attention to some of the developing situations in this race. Wimberley still stuck behind Alex Grant. These drivers have also yet to pit. Domashnev has also yet to pit, as well as Kento Kai. A lot of drivers have yet to pit in this race. Well, by a lot, I mean 4 drivers, but still, the point still stands. And now Goyena finally exiting the pits, just isn't able to take advantage of Balate, but remember, he has the fresher tires over everyone else, at least for now. Zaraleo 153.924. He has gained over 5 seconds on Sinful that previous lap here. Just shows you how deadly Leo can be on clean air, and right now he's just showing that off once again. Sinful still trying to find the opportunity to get past the lap cars, but right now it's not opening up. Let's see if we can do the battle, shall we, between Goliath and Tanaro, especially for Sean Goliath, who was inside the top 3 battle, who was on that front row start. He did, I think, score pole position, but has now dropped down 6 places. And now we have some other changes here with Zeke Wimberly and Alex Grant finally coming into the pits after 26 laps of running. Was that 25 laps already? But whatever the case is, 2 drivers are finally coming into the pits. That leaves us with only 2 drivers left who have yet to pit in this race, and that is Kento Kai and Vlasa Domashnev. They're going to be due to drop down a few positions as well. Zeke Wimberly exits in 13th place with Alex Grant in 12th place. May the Mio car just be able to edge ahead of the Toa car? It does, but just barely. Domashnev finally coming into the pits with Kizuhara Leo barreling down the main straight. That's Kizuhara Leo taking back the race lead away from the Japanese registered race car driver. Sinful still stuck in 2nd place there, being stuck behind the lap cars of Shaki Reza and Mika Margush. The battle between Domashnev and Pauly might just be the battle that you may want to pay attention to. Nice helmet though from Sean Pauly. It's a helmet design that he created himself, so he has to take pride on that work. Sean Pauly is now in that main straight. Domashnev having those colder tires here. Domashnev, will it be enough for Domashnev to hang on to 3rd place? Progress starts looking very well there for Domashnev and Pauly. Gained 2 positions and 4 positions respectively for these 2 drivers. Leo and Sinful each gained 1 position after Sean Galoy again had that poor start in that Nissan. The gaps haven't really closed there between Pauly and Domashnev, which is an interesting sight to see. But then again, Pauly's tires haven't properly warmed up, so it's not really representative just yet. It's a touring love battle between Goliath and Antara, representing Minato Aqua and Nekomata Akai respectively. Goyena sets his personal best lap time of the session so far, 1:54. Can't really read out on what it says. The gap between Leo and Sinful have now opened up to 14 seconds as he now finally clears the lap cars. But will it be a little too late for him? Or we'll have to wait and see, because right now we're gonna also need to take a look at Goyena, who is the next driver at risk to go a lap down. And Danaro still in 6th place here. I think there is another shift of positions because Kento Kai have finally come into the pits. The last driver coming into the pits, that will be your grid order settled. With that, we can finally show you the progress charts here at the moment. And looking at Jeff Clark though, I don't think Jeff Clark haven't made a pit stop, because looking in here, he did make a pit stop, so amazing stuff there from Jeff Clark started at the back, is now up to 7th place here. Gains about 10 to 11 spots. Again, that's a very good achievement for him. Barguer is now back up to 10th place after having to make that second pit stop. A very good recovery drive from him to get himself back up inside the top 10. Leo and Sinful both on clean air, but all it takes is for one driver to make a mistake for everything to fall down on its head. And looking at the intervals between Domashnev and Pauly, Pauly have actually gained a few seconds on Domashnev over this current stint here, only gaining a few tenths of a second on that previous lap. And now Sean Pauly still maintaining his spot in 4th place. The intervals are looking very good here at the front here. They're all pretty spaced out. So let's take a look back at the battle for potentially 5th place here between Goliath and Tannerau and Clark. Kento Kai obviously exiting the pit lane in 15th place, just outside the points. Nice to see more viewers tuning in. Hello. If you're just tuning in, hopefully you're enjoying this Motegi 400 Split B race of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series. Kizuhara Leo for Murasaki Shion still leading this race for Johan Sinful in 2nd place. Oh, if you have any thoughts in this race, feel free to share. I will be able to report on what the chat box is saying. Just being able to respond. If there are like too many messages here, that's going to cause a bit of issues. But whatever the case is, let's just press on to current matters here at the moment, because right now the top 5 are currently being really spread out. And looking into 6 and 7 here, Clark is looking for a way past Tannerau here, really showing off his skills representing Nakiri Ayame and wanting to really bring that good result for the Nakiri Gumi. I mean, true, it's really hard not to give up at this point. I mean, having to start the stream alone in the commentary booth with not many people watching. But of course, some of us are gonna have to just press on anyways. And obviously, being starting from scratch with very minimal connection, it's a bit of a struggle to get this series properly underway. Obviously, with less people operating here, I'm literally the only one that runs the entire series, so that's that. Anyways, back onto the racing scene here. You can see here that Goliath is still having a good, healthy gap to Tannerau, Clark, and Rod. The battle for 8th place is still there. We're gonna go for a short break here on maybe lap 31 or lap 32 to rest the road just a bit, and we're gonna return to broadcasting a lap after. Clark having a pretty decent exit there off the turn 3 there, coming into turn 4. Will it be enough? Actually, it is. Looking into Clark, he really dives down the inside on Tannerau. Now steals 6th place, and Tannerau drops down to 7th. Barguer in the 10th spot here, looking for a spot against Ricci. So we're gonna get into lap 32 soon, and we're gonna go for a short break after that. And for now, we are looking into the battle for the silver spoon, still between Akirose and Mika Margish. Kento Kai still hanging around in 15th for Shishiro Botan, Daniel Goyena 14th, Olatif 13th, Zeke Wimberley is still inside the points in 12th, so again, great stuff there from the young driver. And then we have Grant 11, Barguer 10 trying to catch Lorenzo Ricci in 9th. Rod is in 8th place and is actually getting pretty close there to Antanara here in 7th place. Clark is not pulling away from Antanara and is now having his eyes set on Goliath in 5th place, Paulie in 4th, having a lonely race at the moment, as well as Domashnev. Although he's still stuck behind the lap cars of Margish and Akirose, but this time he's gonna try his luck around the outside, but it's not accruing to him. Sinful in 2nd, and Kizuhara Leo about to finish his lap. As about to finish his lap, we're gonna go take a short break here. One final break before we're gonna go for this 10 lap dash here for the finish. As it stands, Kizuhara Leo still leads this Motegi 400 split B race, with the Monster not far behind. And now, let's take a look into the battle between Ryan and Tanner. Tanner now drops down to 8th, Ross now up to 7th, and Domashnev is still stuck behind lap cars. Welcome back to Motegi here in the Motegi 400 split B race of the 2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. Kizuhara Leo is still in charge here, and he's now stuck behind Kento Kai, which should give a bit of hope for Sinful to try to catch up to Leo for a possible last lap dash. And as you can see here, Grant and Wimberley going side by side once again. Grant has been really slow off the line, and now he's probably under pressure from his other Honda teammates, Daniel Bolatev and Danilo Goyena. It's a bit, how do you say this? A bit of a crazy race there for Grant. Now looking into the progress chart here, he did lose 2 positions from the start. Him being inside, him having a good start here is one thing, but not having a lot of pace there to get all the other drivers involved is another thing. So anyways, back onto the gaps here, and you can see that Sinful is actually closing into Leo by quite the margin here. Leo is still stuck behind some lap cars, Kento Kai, and then later Goyena, Bolatev, Grant, and Wimberley is actually pulling away. So we have, so basically Leo still has a few more drivers that he needs to deal with. And And now you can see Jeff Clark going side by side there with Sean Goliath here. Jeff Clark really getting his nose up into Goliath, going into the inside line there into turns 4, 5, and 6. And now Clark, with an amazing comeback drive, is currently in 5th place. This is something that Akirigumi can be proud of here. A very hard as nails driver, if you want to call him that. A driver who has a lot of grit and determination to bounce back from setbacks. Had a setback in qualifying, got into a contact with another driver in qualifying, started at the back after setting no lap times, and Clark is currently in command of this midfield battle. He's currently in 5th. And the gap between Sinful and Leo have now closed back up to 9.5 seconds here. Looking to the lap time difference here, Sinful is now 3 seconds a lap faster than Leo. It's not over yet between the top 2 drivers here, as the race is still pretty much young. Well, this is not young anymore at this point. The race is still not finished, it's still not over. You can see that Sinful is still pulling away. Not exactly, he's still closing into the gap between himself and Leo. And you can see here Leo is still stuck behind Kento Kai. He's really trying his best to get close there, but the Lexus is just very good in the corners, in addition to the dirty air problem and the nature of this racetrack. And now looking at Johan Sinful, he's now only 7 seconds behind. And right now, the battle is really heating up between the two. 156.287 for Kizuhara Leo, and it's going to be possibly a 153.361 for Sinful. The battle is pretty much on between these two drivers, and now the gaps just keep closing, and we might be seeing these two come together on lap 38 if Leo isn't able to clear Kento Kai in time. And even then, if he does clear Kento Kai, he still has 3 lap cards that he needs to deal with. And given that Kento Kai is driving a Lexus, and the driver in 2nd place is actually a Lexus, there could be some sort of team game at the moment, because right now there is no blue flag rule in the Assetto Corsa. So that's why you see these lap cars actually putting a lot of trouble here for the drivers at the front. And as you can see, the gap's really close down between Leo and Sinful. Now the gap's now dropped down to 4.6 seconds. Sinful is on the charge here for Natsuhiro Matsuri. He has had a 2nd place finish at Tsukuba. He's not gonna finish 2nd again. Well, ideally, because right now he has a win currently locked into his vision. And looking into the past winners here at this season, we have seen Kizuhara Leo winning in Split B, as well as Vladislav Domashnev in Hololive GT3. Can Sinful be the 3rd driver in Split B to win a Hololive GT3 race this season? And right now, Sinful is currently having his eyes peeled for some opportunities. Meanwhile, there's another battle here between Rod and Goliath. Rod going down the inside of Sean Goliath, as Goliath drops down a few more positions, drop now up to 6th place. Zorley at 157.644, 152.959 for Sinful. He has gained almost 4 seconds on that previous lap, and now Johan is looking for the impetus he needs. He might just be able to catch Leo at the end of lap 36, if not the start of lap 37. It's looking very good there for Sinful at the moment. At the same time, it's also looking very good there for Paulie, as he might steal a podium position from Domashnev. Domashnev had been leading the standings, and he really wants to hang on to this championship lead. But as it stands, it might not be enough. If he gets overtaken by Paulie. The battle is still getting intensifying here. Sinful is now caught up to the rear end to Kizuhara Leo. He's currently right behind Kizuhara Leo's engine and gearbox. And as you can see, Leo from Murasaki Shion really trying to find a way past Kento Kai, but now his eyes are now set on defending against Sinful. Will Sinful tempt himself for a dive bomb? There it is. There is a slight bomb on the inside here because you can see Leo trying to go slightly wide. Oh, it's looking very promising here for Sinful here. Oh, chances opening up left, right, and center. He is having a lot of intentions. He is looking into the back of Kizuhara Leo with full intent, knowing that he's gonna try to find a way past that nook and cranny that is an opening from Kizuhara Leo. And you can see here Leo hitting that curve way too hard, and that's gonna open up the chance for Sinful to go maybe down the inside, but Sinful's not close enough. And there's a move down the inside. Leo is about to be shuffled. It's just slightly off wide, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Sinful is going to have had a crack at it, and he might have to try again. Highly intense battle here at the Motegi 400 Split B race. Sinful is still on a charge. Paulie is also on the charge against Domashnev. Lexus versus the Honda, and a Honda versus a Lexus for first and third place respectively. There's literally two battles that we need to keep track of, but right now this is one of the more important ones because this is a battle for the race lead. Sinful, let's see if we can get close here. Let's go on board the number 7 Natsuri Matsuri Lexus to see how it goes. Is it going to be a good exit here for Sinful here? Oh, you can see here Leo trying to find a way past Kento Kai, and now Sinful is going to get pretty close there to Leo. Will he test dive bomb down the inside? Leo is still being shuffled off wide. Sinful hugs the inside line. But right now it's still a stalemate here, but we need to pay attention to how Leo takes that final corner. Will he take the curbs way too aggressively? Coming into lap 38 of this race, Leo is still leading with Sinful not far behind. And as you can see here, Sinful really trying to find an opening, but this just isn't at the moment. Kizuhara Leo really wanting that second win for Murasaki Shion after having that winless season in 2022. He's gonna try to have his luck to win again in 2023, having that sweet moments here. Will Leo attempt a dive bomb down the inside? The answer, I don't think so, but Sinful is now looking for an opportunity here because actually Leo have gone too wide, and that'll open up the opportunity for Sinful to steal a position. But Leo is not going to take it lying down, or will he? There just isn't any room. Sinful now takes the race lead. The pressure had been mounting, but unfortunately, it's going to come undone there for Leo here as he now dropped down to second. But the battle's not over yet. Kizuhara Leo is going to probably try a dive bomb down the inside. Number 7 is currently in the race lead. Number 8 not far behind in second place here. Sinful probably needs to give a lot of thanks to Kento Kai for holding Kizuhara Leo hostage here, and basically giving him the vulnerability for Sinful to pounce. Oh, you can see here Leo tried to go wide there, trying to find a way past on the outside, but it just didn't come. But will Leo be able to get a chance in? And as it stands at the moment, the Vlasta Domashnev is going to take what is essentially third place. Sorry, the race still maintained his championship lead coming into the final split round at Sepang in August. Coming around the outside there, Leo, he's definitely going, he's trying every avenue in the book possible to try to get past Sinful, but will it be enough? And now Leo is still going for that back and forth moment here. Leo still trying to get close there to Sinful, but will it be enough? There are a lot of overtaking opportunities, but these overtaking opportunities aren't as easy as it looks. Gap still hovering at between 0.3 of a second and a full second right now. Leo just needs a good exit off of turn 9 for a move at the hairpin here. You can see he is Sinful, trying to tempt a move down the outside against Kento Kai. On board Leo's as number 8 Murasaki on Honda. Will he make a move down the inside? Going for that wide move for both of them, and it's not going to accrue for both. But Leo is closing in, but it's not going to be enough. Lap 39 of this race, there's still 3 laps of racing to go after they cross the line. Holly is also still unable to clear Domashnev just yet. If Leo can take this race lead and Domashnev drops down to 4th, then it's going to be a near certainty that Leo is going to retake the championship lead. But right now, it's currently in Vladislav Domashnev's hands. And right now, the battle is currently very rife at the moment here. You can see here Sinful really being held up here by Kento Kai. It's a double-edged sword there, Kento Kai. He has his own battle that he needs to take off. Now Leo gets back down the inside line. Diving down the inside, having to force Sinful off wide. Can Sinful hang it around the outside? The answer is no. Kizuhara Leo retakes the race lead. It's a back and forth moment between these two drivers, neither of them giving an inch. This is going to be a very interesting, last few laps here with 3 laps to go. It's a back and forth moment. Yes, it's true. It's a back and forth moment. You can see here, it was Leo that led. Then Sinful retook the. Then it was Sinful that retook the race lead, and then Kizaru retook the race lead once again. Will Sinful make a switch back down the inside? Will Sinful hang it around the outside to try to tempt his chance? And you can see here, now you can see Kento Kai is now battling between Danilo Goyena. It's Predator versus Prey once again. And now we are seeing a double side-by-side moment here between drivers from both ends. Kento Kai trying to find an opportunity against Kizuhara Leo, but that will leave the door open for Kizuhara Leo to probably put Kento Kai a lap down. Oh, you can see here Kizuhara Leo having a very poor exit off of the final corner. Sinful going neck and neck with Leo on the main straight. Will Sinful make a switchback move down the inside, or will he hang around the outside? Leo with a defensive line down the inside, and as we are saying this, Sean Pauly and Vladislav Domashnev are side by side as well. So many battles here at the moment coming into the final round of laps here. And now Sean Pauly drops down to 5th place, being overtaken by Jeff Clark. But Pauly's not going to take this line down, as he's not going to stay up to 4th, or will he? Because Jeff Clark gets back up to 4th place. Kizuhara Leo trying to tempt for a move down the inside on Kento Kai, but it's not working for him just yet. Sinful is not giving up. It's the penultimate lap of this race. So many battles going around here. Everyone's now setting a lap time of a 2-minute mark here. As you can see, Domashnev is still under pressure, still being stuck behind Margish and Shakib Reza. Jeff Clark and Sean Pauli looking for an opportunity, and now Richie Rod is in the mix. Sinful now dives down the inside once again on Kizuhara Leo. The 7 car now back up into the race lead. It's a very tense final few laps here. It's a very tense penultimate lap. The last lap is going to be even more tense. Can Kizuhara Leo steal back the race lead from Sinful? Leo coming into the final set of corners here to start the final lap of this race, but it's not going to be him that starts the final lap of this race. It's going to be Johan Sinful. Johan Sinful from Mexico is going to start the final lap of this race comfortably inside the Natsuhiro Matsuri car. He is not yet at the finish line. He still needs to see this final lap out. And now Jeff Clark makes an overtake on Vlasa Domashnev here. Jeff Clark's comeback run from the back of the field, now down to third, is going to be pretty much still alive. And now Sean Pauli is going to steal maybe 4th place from Vlasa Domashnev, but now he's under pressure from Richie Rod. Kizuhara Leo trying to go for a move down the outside of turn 2, but it's not accruing to him. Vlasa Domashnev now trying to go for an inside move against Jeff Clark. Richie Rod steals 5th place from Sean Pauli, but not before Sean Pauli makes a switchback move once again. Side by side onto the final corners for Domashnev and Clark. 18 and 19 on, for the battle for 3rd place. Sinful have now pulled away against Kizuhara Leo, but then again he still has the lap car of Shishiro Boatan. Okay. Apologies for the background noise again. And now you can see here Sinful is still being under pressure from Kizuhara Leo. He's now again being pushed off wide there by Kento Kai. You can see here Domashnev and Clark battling side by side. Jeff Clark now steals 3rd place. Kizuhara Leo might have one last chance to make a move down the inside to Johan Sinful, but will it be enough? Johan Sinful have not seen victory under Natsuhiro Matsuri. Richie Rod have now stolen 5th place. Dan Powell have seen a win for Natsuhiro Matsuri. This could be the 2nd driver that could be able to win for Natsuhiro Matsuri. Johan Sinful exiting the final corner is going to emerge as the victor, the winner of the Motegi 400 Split B race. A valiant drive by Sinful here to take the race lead away from Kizuhara Leo on the final laps. Amazing stuff from the Mexican. But the race is not over yet for the final podium positions here, as Jeff Clark still trying to defend very well against Vlasa Domashnev in 4th place. And as it stands, Vlasa Domashnev is going to be able to hang on to this race lead, championship lead, coming to the final race at Sepang, well, the final split race at Sepang. And you can see Sean Pauli going side by side against Richie Rod. Sean Pauli is not going to go down into the dying light. He's not going to go into the light just yet, because Sean Pauli have stolen 5th place at the death. Jeff Clark finishes 3rd. Very good comeback drive from last on the grid. Amazing stuff there from Jeff Clark. Domashnev, 4th place, manages to hang on to the championship lead, heading into the final Split A race, Split B race at Sepang. Sean Pauli, another good race for him. He's up to 5th. Rod 6, Golal 7, Tanneral 7, Richie and Tanneral 8, Richie 9, Barguer 10, Wimberley 11th, Grant Bulatev, Goyena, and Kai in 14th and 15th. Just want to go for a bit of an intermission here, just to check on the situations here between some of the other drivers here. Just wanted to check back onto the current situation here. We have confirmation that Kento Kai have officially been confirmed to finish on the lead lap, as well as Daniel Goyena on his Hololive GT3 debut. He will finish 14th, and Daniel Bolate will finish 13th. You can see the excitement of Johan Sinful as he finally wins for Natsuhiro Matsuri. Just jubilation for the Mexican driver here as he manages to beat Kizuhara Leo off the line, making use of the lap cars to his advantage. Johan Sinful, your winner for the Motegi 400 Split B race representing Natsuhiro Matsuri, ladies and gentlemen. Kizuhara Leo fought valiantly to the death for Murasaki Shion. It just didn't come to him, but still, second place isn't nothing to be laughed at. Jeff Clark for Nakiri Ayame since third place after starting last, not being able to set a lap time. He's currently in third place. Amazing stuff there from Singaporean. Plaza Domashnev, fourth place. A very solid run for him. With the current results as it stands, he's able to maintain his championship lead. Sean Pauli with an amazing run in fifth place just shows you on his day, Sean Pauli can really show his potential. 49 Gami Korani, which you for Shirikami Fubuki finishes 6th. Sean Galal started on pole. It's a shame that his race ended this way. He's currently 7th. He finished 7th in the Aqua car. In the Okayu car, and Tanaro finishes a respectable 8th place. Lorenzo Ricci in 9th place. Finishes 9th for Hosha Marine. Daniel Barguer 10th place for Hoshimachi Suisei. In 11th place, it's an All-American 11th and 12th for Wimberley and Grant representing Okami Mio and Alex Grant and Yukihara Lamy respectively. Daniel Bolatev representing Tokoyami Toa finishes 13th for Toa. Daniel Goyena in his Hololive GT3 debut finishes 14th for Usada Pecora. Kantokai just manages to stay inside the lead lap in the Shirobota and Lexus. He finishes 15th. But for Shaki Reza and Mika Margit, both of them went a lap down, was really off the pace for both of them. And obviously for both of them, it's a race to forget. Then again, Shaki Reza returns to the Nene card outside the points, and Mika Margit will score no points in her Hololive GT3 debut for Amane Kanata. So we're going to get into the intermission to check back onto the championship standings. But first, we're going to need to confirm things just a bit. It has been an amazing race here. A battle on the final few laps. What more could you ask for? So anyways, let's take a look into the championship standings for Split B. Coming into, the final race of the season. But yeah, just wanted to give you a bit of confirmation here that the standings order have been messed up and in such. We can't really process the championship order at the moment. So apologies here if we can't really show you the championship standings at the moment. But what we can tell you for sure, Vasa Domashnev is still able to maintain his championship lead over Kizuhara Leo and Johan Sinful. But whatever the case is, we're going to be updating you all on our Twitter account, Adak-RMS, for the Split B and overall championship order. So with that out of the way, we're going to end this stream right here. I'm Muhammad Shadi Reza. You've been watching the 2023 Motegi 400 Split B race in the 2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series.